Thanks for staying with us at STL Live. I'm Sarah Thompson, and my guest is President and CEO of Support Dogs, Inc., and Klein. Thank you again for being here today.
Thank you again for having me.
So I love this, and you've given us a great, sort of introduction to Support Dogs, Inc. and the story of With the Dogs, but then I want to get into kind of the meat of some of the programs, and you were talking about the facility program, and we even have a photo to go along with it. So this is Mitch and Hitch. I think we have an image of the two dogs.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so tell me a bit more about the facility program.
So those dogs are working in Lake County, Illinois. As you said, we place across the country, and they are working with prosecuting attorneys and child advocacy centers to work on mainly victims of abuse, children who have been victims of abuse, working forensic evidence gathering, and then also they are allowed to go on the witness stand with the child should it go to that point. So.
Wow. And tell me, if you don't mind, just a little bit more about this in terms of preparing the dogs to serve this purpose and role. What types of, I know we don't have enough time to get into it, but what types of training does the dog receive?
So the child doesn't know, but the dog is actually coaxing them, and the dog is trained to do a visit and put their head on their lap, and then also sit quietly and let the child pet them. And so there are specific skills that all of our dogs in our assistance dog program learn, including our courtroom dogs. And the child doesn't necessarily know that that's what's happening, but it is.
It's fascinating, really fascinating. The touch program.
Yeah, so our other programs are our touch therapy program and our pause for reading program. This is where people with their own dogs, can be any breed. It can be a toy poodle, it can be a Great Dane. It can be a mix from any of the shelters that we have in this area, which are fantastic. Those individuals are trained and specially certified to go into healthcare facilities throughout the St. Louis region. We're in over 110 different healthcare facilities where they just go and make lives better for patients, families, and the caregivers that are there. So it's an amazing, warm experience for all, for the handlers and for the dogs and for the kiddos and parents and families.
Wow. And so go ahead and finish for the next program, and then I'll follow up with the question.
So then our other program is our Pause for Reading program, where we're in 43 different schools and libraries, working with readers or working with teachers to help incentivize kids to read more and to be more comfortable with reading out loud. You can read to a dog. They're not going to correct you.
So when you're training the dogs, I imagine you're overseeing quite a bit, right?
Yes.
Because you obviously have the programs.
Yes.
And then there's also the training of the dogs, which, as you mentioned, is 2 years. In the process of training, let's say the dogs that you work with, new research comes out that says, this is with your handlers to say, this is something that you could work on to train dogs. Are you incorporating that into it? Or I guess what I'm saying is, how does, on the training level for the dogs, is there new research that coming into how to keep them, if you will, sort of not up to date, but as effective as possible?
So we are accredited by Assistance Dogs International.
Okay.
And so there are specific guidelines that we follow for our certain training for mobility issues, for hearing, for courtroom dogs. There are different tasks and skills that we teach them that are different than other organizations that may do medical alert dogs, such as seizure alert, diabetes alert. Those aren't things that we train for.
I see. It's really, really interesting, really fascinating. What will people find? We want to give them the website information. What can they find on their website? Ways to get involved? Or
yes,
to contact
absolutely. You? We have over 600 active volunteers, so we are always looking for more great volunteers. And also on our website is a great video that they can see that really goes through kind of all that we've talked about here and what we do as an organization.
It's so interesting. I wish we had more time. There's so many questions going through my head that I want to ask you now, but we're out of time. But thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
And as Ann said, we have the information there for you on the screen, supportdogs.org. Go to their website, watch their video, learn more about what they do. Obviously, reach out to them if there's anything that overlaps with the need that you might have or ways that you want to get involved. You can call 314-997-2325 or visit supportdogs.org. And thank you again for being here. Thank you. All right, there's more STL Live right after this. Please stay with us.